Royal Guard's instant reaction saves Princess Anne during dangerous speeding car incident. Police car light. Princess Anne woke up to a soft morning light filtering through the tall windows of the royal residence. The sky outside was a gentle mix of pale blue and golden hues, hinting at a beautiful day ahead. Birds chirped in the gardens, their melodies drifting through the air and blending with the distant hum of city life. The princess, always calm and composed, followed her morning routine with quiet grace. She sipped her tea slowly, enjoying the warmth and subtle aroma as she reviewed the day's schedule with her assistants. Today was especially important because she was to visit a local school to attend a special event celebrating students' achievements. In the royal household, everything moved with precision. Assistants checked details repeatedly, ensuring every aspect of the day would run smoothly. Vehicles were polished to a shine, routes were studied carefully, and security personnel prepared themselves for any unexpected events. Princess Anne, despite the strict formality around her, had a natural way of putting everyone at ease. She smiled gently as staff briefed her, asking thoughtful questions about the students she would meet later. Her curiosity and warm demeanor made even the briefest conversation feel personal, as if she genuinely cared about every small detail. Outside, the streets of London were beginning to fill with early traffic. The city had a rhythm of its own, a mixture of honking cars, bicyclists weaving through the lanes, and the occasional street performer adding life to the sidewalks. The royal convoy, though prepared for the normal bustle of the city, always created a distinct presence. Police motorcycles led the way, followed by sleek black cars carrying Princess Anne and her entourage. Each driver and officer knew their responsibility was not just to transport the royal family safely, but to anticipate every possible challenge along the route. Inside her car, Princess Anne sat upright, her hands resting lightly on her lap. She glanced through the window at the passing cityscape. The buildings, some historic and grand, others modern and sleek, reminded her of London's unique blend of tradition and innovation. She noticed children walking to school, waving at the cars with curiosity and excitement. Occasionally, she waved back, careful yet warm, acknowledging the simple joys of everyday life outside her royal duties. The bodyguards in the car were alert but unobtrusive, their eyes scanning the streets for anything unusual. They had trained for years for moments like this, situations that demanded not just skill but split-second judgment. Each had memorized countless protocols, practiced countless drills, and yet they remained humble, knowing that no training could replace intuition in a real-life crisis. One senior officer in particular had been with the princess for over a decade. He had witnessed everything from minor road disturbances to intense security threats, and he carried a quiet confidence that inspired trust in those around him. As the convoy moved, the rhythm of the city seemed to shift around them. Drivers slowed to give way, pedestrians stopped mid-step, and curious onlookers glanced at the vehicles with respect and awe. Even in these ordinary moments, there was a sense of tension, an awareness that the streets could hold surprises, both mundane and dangerous. For Princess Anne, this was familiar territory. She had traveled countless miles in public, attended countless events, and yet she remained vigilant. Her composure was never just for appearance. It was part of understanding the world she moved through, balancing grace with awareness. The morning air was crisp, carrying the subtle scents of flowers from nearby parks and freshly baked bread from corner cafes. The city's energy was contagious, yet within the royal car, a quiet bubble of focus remained. Conversations among the staff were minimal and professional. Only necessary updates were spoken, each word chosen carefully to avoid distraction. Princess Anne occasionally nodded in acknowledgement, her mind already moving forward to the engagements ahead. While the day seemed ordinary, the subtle tension of anticipation lingered. Each turn of the car, each pause at a traffic light, carried with it layers of preparation. Security cameras and patrols scanned ahead, ensuring clear routes and monitoring the city's pulse. There was a rhythm to it, a delicate balance between movement and vigilance. Princess Anne, accustomed to this blend of routine and alertness, felt comfortable yet alert, enjoying the calm before the storm she could not yet foresee. Meanwhile, the royal guard closest to her maintained a quiet, steady vigilance. He studied the surroundings like a hawk, noting unusual patterns of movement among pedestrians and vehicles. Experience had taught him that danger often came unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye. He adjusted his posture slightly, ready to act, yet maintaining an appearance of calm. His role was invisible to most, but vital to the safety of the princess. Every detail mattered: the speed of approaching cars, the position of pedestrians, even the reflections in nearby windows. As the convoy approached a bustling intersection, Princess Anne observed the children playing near the crosswalk. A small boy's laughter carried through the air, bringing a brief smile to her face. Moments like these reminded her why she valued her public duties, because they connected her to the real lives of ordinary people. She thought about the students she was soon to meet, their dreams, their curiosity, and their hopes for the future. These thoughts filled her with a quiet sense of purpose, a motivation that made the morning's routine more meaningful. Yet, despite the calm and beauty of the city morning, the environment held an undercurrent of unpredictability. Drivers rushed, cyclists weaved unpredictably, and city streets were filled with both seen and unseen challenges. For the royal entourage, this was normal, but it required constant attention. Each guard in the convoy understood that safety was never guaranteed by routine alone. It was earned through vigilance, anticipation, and swift response when the unexpected arrived. Princess Anne adjusted her posture, glancing briefly at her reflection in the window. Her composed expression mirrored her inner calm, but behind it lay awareness. She had learned, through years of experience, that presence of mind was as important as protocol. Her thoughts drifted briefly to her family, to her role, and to the long line of responsibilities that defined her life. Yet she carried these with dignity and quiet strength, never letting worry overshadow the grace expected of her. The convoy continued through the historic streets, passing landmarks that had witnessed centuries of history. Each building told a story, and Princess Anne often reflected on how her life intersected with the larger narrative of her country. She understood the significance of every public appearance, not for attention or praise, but as a bridge between tradition and the lives of people she served. As the journey progressed, the atmosphere inside the royal car remained one of calm focus. Conversations were minimal, gestures subtle, and the quiet hum of the engine was the only background noise. The princess remained poised, her gaze occasionally drifting to the streets, taking in the world outside with measured curiosity. She knew that this calm, this routine, was a fragile veneer, easily disrupted by forces beyond control. Little did anyone in the convoy know that a sudden threat was approaching, one that would test every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of courage the team possessed. The morning had been peaceful, almost serene, but the city's unpredictability was about to remind them that even a routine day could turn extraordinary in a heartbeat. And yet, in this moment, Princess Anne's calm presence, combined with the vigilant readiness of her guards, would set the stage for a dramatic act of heroism, one that would later be remembered for years to come. The streets of London flowed around the convoy, ordinary and alive, oblivious to the approaching danger. Cars moved, people walked, and the morning continued its rhythm. But in the midst of this ordinary scene, the foundation for a remarkable story was quietly being laid. A story of courage, instinct, and quick thinking that would soon unfold, changing an ordinary morning into an extraordinary tale of bravery. The morning had begun with a peaceful rhythm, the royal convoy moving smoothly through the streets of London. Princess Anne's attention remained on the passing cityscape, the people, and the thought of the school she was about to visit. Everything seemed ordinary, calm, and perfectly in place. Yet in a city as alive and unpredictable as London, peace could change in an instant. That day, the unpredictability of the streets would become sharply clear. Unnoticed by most, a car further down the road began to move erratically. The driver appeared distracted and impatient, weaving slightly between lanes. Perhaps it was a momentary lapse, or maybe sheer recklessness, but the effect was immediate. Other drivers slowed cautiously, adjusting their speed and keeping distance. Pedestrians on the sidewalks cast nervous glances at the road, sensing that something unusual was unfolding. The sound of the speeding car, a sharp engine growl against the morning hum of traffic, began to draw attention. Inside the royal convoy, the guards noticed subtle shifts in the surroundings. The senior officer, always alert, noticed a blur in the mirror that did not belong. The rogue car was moving faster than normal traffic, closing distance rapidly. Even though the princess remained unaware, the tension inside the lead vehicles grew. Guards exchanged brief, silent glances, each reading the other's understanding. This was no ordinary driver. Every instinct in their training told them to prepare for immediate action. Princess Anne, sitting upright and composed, continued to observe the city. Children waved from the sidewalks, and the bright morning sun reflected off the polished surfaces of the vehicles. For her, these moments were ordinary, full of life and color. But life can shift suddenly, and the very ordinary streets that carried such energy were about to test the team around her. The unpredictability of human behavior meant that safety, however meticulously planned, could never be taken for granted. The speeding car grew closer, its movements increasingly erratic. Its driver swerved dangerously from side to side, narrowly missing parked cars and pedestrians. Horns honked around the street as drivers tried to regain control of the situation. People on the sidewalks froze, some stepping back instinctively, sensing the danger without fully understanding it. The air, once calm and peaceful, now carried an undercurrent of tension. Even the birds in nearby trees seemed unsettled, their chirping faltering as if aware of the disturbance. Inside Princess Anne's vehicle, the senior guard's eyes sharpened. He noticed the trajectory of the rogue car and realized the immediate risk. Every calculation, every movement had to be precise. A split-second's hesitation could result in serious harm. He subtly leaned forward, hands ready, body poised to act. His training took over naturally, instincts honed over years of service guided him. Each second stretched as he monitored the speeding vehicle, his mind anticipating its next move. The chauffeur driving Princess Anne's car also sensed the shift in atmosphere. His hands gripped the wheel tightly, eyes scanning every mirror and intersection. He knew the importance of remaining calm and steady, but the sudden presence of danger made each heartbeat more intense. The rhythm of the streets, which had seemed so ordinary just moments before, now pulsed with urgency. Every driver nearby became part of a fragile dance, adjusting instinctively to avoid the reckless vehicle. As the rogue car neared, its speed increasing with each passing moment, a small crowd of pedestrians froze at the crosswalk. A mother pulled her child back instinctively, a cyclist swerved sharply, and a delivery driver slammed on the brakes. The chaos was mounting, yet within the royal convoy, calm precision reigned. Guards moved subtly but decisively, preparing for action. Their discipline was silent but powerful, a contrast to the disorder unfolding around them. Princess Anne, though composed, sensed the subtle shift in energy. She looked toward the guards, reading their expressions. She did not need to hear the words. They conveyed urgency through posture and focus. Her calm demeanor remained intact, but her instincts, sharpened by years of experience, alerted her to the unusual situation. Even in moments of danger, she carried herself with dignity and awareness, a combination that inspired confidence in those around her. The speeding car suddenly changed lanes aggressively, its trajectory now directly toward the royal vehicle. The senior guard's eyes widened slightly, assessing the speed, distance, and angle. He knew he had only a fraction of a second to react. Every muscle in his body tensed, ready to guide the chauffeur, protect the princess, and neutralize the threat. His mind ran through protocols as instinct and training merged seamlessly. Nearby pedestrians gasped, realizing the danger, while other drivers tried to maneuver their cars out of harm's way. The air was filled with sudden sounds, screeching tires, horns blaring, and the faint shouts of people warning each other. In the midst of the chaos, the royal car remained a focus of precision, moving deliberately as the guard coordinated every movement. The rogue vehicle's approach was swift, almost surreal in its sudden intensity. Time seemed to slow as the senior guard calculated the angles and speed. He noted the distance between the cars, the space for evasive maneuvers, and the safety of the princess. Every possible outcome flashed in his mind, each requiring a different action. He prepared to act instantly, knowing that hesitation could lead to disaster. Princess Anne, calm and observant, felt a subtle vibration in the car, the alert that something extraordinary was occurring. Her eyes flicked toward the guard, reading the quiet determination etched on his face. She understood instinctively that her safety depended on his split-second decision-making. Though outwardly composed, her focus sharpened. She had been trained for public appearances and protocols. But moments like these reminded her of the unpredictable nature of life outside ceremonial duties. The street seemed to hold its breath as the rogue car drew closer. Its speed had become dangerous, the potential for impact clear to anyone paying attention. Pedestrians and drivers watched in shock, their daily routines interrupted by an unexpected threat. Yet the royal convoy, honed through training and experience, remained a unit of precision. The guard adjusted slightly, his eyes never leaving the rogue vehicle, his body positioned to act at the perfect moment. Seconds stretched as the danger intensified. The driver of the speeding car made no attempt to slow down, cutting between lanes in reckless disregard for safety. The environment around the convoy became a mix of chaos and reaction, with each movement requiring careful judgment. The senior guard calculated paths, distances, and timing with a mind trained to respond to danger without hesitation. Princess Anne's presence remained calm, her poise unwavering. She leaned back slightly, allowing the trained professionals around her to handle the situation. Her faith in their skill was absolute, grounded in years of observation and understanding of their training. Even as the threat drew near, she maintained a balance between awareness and trust, knowing that panic would only hinder the careful coordination required to avoid disaster. As the rogue car approached a critical point, the senior guard prepared to make the decisive move. His eyes measured every fraction of distance, and his mind anticipated every possible reaction from the chauffeur and surrounding traffic. The tension inside the car was palpable, yet outwardly invisible to the casual observer. Every movement, every breath, was part of a silent choreography of protection. The chaotic energy outside contrasted sharply with the disciplined focus inside the royal car. Pedestrians had begun to scatter, some ducking behind parked vehicles, others stepping back quickly from the curb. Drivers honked, swerved, and braked abruptly. The air was filled with the scent of burning rubber and the high-pitched sound of sudden braking. Yet the convoy moved with controlled determination, the training of its members turning potential panic into coordinated action. Time seemed to stretch in the moments before the imminent collision. The rogue car's headlights reflected in the side mirrors of the royal car, closing the distance rapidly. The senior guard remained poised, ready to guide the chauffeur with subtle but critical signals. His mind mapped out every possible movement in a split second, preparing for the moment when action would be unavoidable. Princess Anne's eyes remained calm, but her awareness was acute. She observed the city outside, the people, the vehicles, and the approaching danger, fully understanding the gravity of the situation. In her calm, there was a quiet readiness, a trust in the team around her, a respect for their skill, and an understanding that danger could strike at any moment. And then, in a heartbeat, the moment arrived. The dangerous car was almost upon them. The seconds of anticipation reached their peak. The calm of the morning was shattered by the chaos outside, yet within the royal car, precision and focus held firm. The senior guard's instincts, experience, and training merged in perfect harmony, setting the stage for an instant reaction that would define the morning. The speeding car had grown dangerously close, moving with reckless abandon, its engine growling like a warning through the busy streets of London. In that instant, the calm morning that Princess Anne had enjoyed moments before vanished, replaced by the sharp tension of immediate danger. The senior guard's eyes widened slightly, but his expression remained controlled. Years of training had prepared him for this moment, yet nothing could truly mimic the intensity of a real-life threat moving at terrifying speed. He leaned slightly toward the chauffeur, giving subtle signals with his hand, knowing that every second mattered. The royal vehicle's engine hummed steadily beneath them, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. Pedestrians froze, some ducking instinctively behind street signs or parked cars, while others stood rooted in shock, unable to comprehend how close the danger had come. The roar of the approaching car filled the air, mingling with the honking of startled drivers. Yet inside the royal car, there was a remarkable focus, a calm, precise readiness that could only come from years of disciplined preparation. Princess Anne remained composed, though her senses were sharply alert. She felt the tension in the car, saw the seriousness in the faces of her guards, and understood instinctively that danger was imminent. She did not panic. Instead, she followed a quiet inner rule she had learned over decades of public life. trust in the people trained to protect her. Her posture was steady, her gaze focused, and her mind attentive to every subtle movement in the car. Even in the face of potential disaster, she carried herself with grace, a silent anchor amid chaos. The rogue vehicle swerved again, dangerously close to the curb, narrowly avoiding parked cars and lampposts. Its driver seemed unaware or uncaring of the potential harm being caused. Each fraction of a second brought it closer to the royal car. The senior guard's hands tightened slightly, ready to act with precision. He could feel the rhythm of the moment, the delicate balance between speed, distance, and opportunity. Every instinct told him this was the moment when action must be decisive. Hesitation could mean injury or worse. The chauffeur, guided by the guard's subtle cues, began a carefully calculated maneuver. The tires of the royal car gripped the road tightly, responding smoothly to the slight turn. The guard positioned himself between the princess and the potential impact, instinctively shielding her while simultaneously communicating with the driver. His movements were deliberate but fluid, a blend of authority and speed honed by countless drills and previous emergencies. Time seemed to stretch, as if the world itself had slowed to a crawl. The roar of the approaching vehicle dominated the street, the screams of pedestrians and the screeching brakes of nearby cars adding to the tension. In those critical moments, every decision mattered. The senior guard's mind raced through possible outcomes, each one a calculation of angles, distance, and speed. He adjusted his posture slightly, prepared to shield Princess Anne with his body if necessary, while guiding the car with precise signals to the chauffeur. Princess Anne sensed the shift in energy inside the car. Her eyes flicked toward the guard, reading the intensity and focus etched in his features. Though outwardly calm, her mind registered the danger, analyzing what she could do to remain safe while leaving the physical response to those trained for this exact moment. Her trust in the guard was absolute, and she relied on it completely, as she had countless times in public appearances where caution and preparation were crucial. The rogue car made its final approach, closing the distance rapidly. Its path was erratic, swinging slightly from side to side as the driver struggled, or ignored, the control of the vehicle. The senior guard leaned in closer, adjusting his position to shield the princess while also calculating the next maneuver. His training had taught him that in moments like these, instinct must merge seamlessly with protocol. He felt the weight of responsibility, knowing that every second could define the outcome. With a precise motion, he signaled the chauffeur to execute a sudden yet controlled swerve. The royal car responded flawlessly, tires gripping the asphalt as it moved away from the path of the rogue vehicle. The guard's body acted as a shield, protecting Princess Anne while ensuring she remained secure in her seat. The tension in the car was palpable, yet the execution was smooth, a testament to years of preparation meeting the unforgiving reality of danger. The pedestrians nearby gasped as the royal car narrowly avoided the collision. Some covered their mouths in disbelief, others whispered hurriedly to those around them. The air was thick with the scent of rubber and the faint smoke of screeching tires. The city seemed to hold its breath, the near accident frozen in the memories of everyone who had witnessed it. But inside the car, calm determination prevailed. The guard continued to guide the chauffeur, ensuring every motion kept Princess Anne safe and avoided any secondary hazards. Princess Anne remained seated, composed but keenly aware. Her eyes scanned the streets outside, watching the rogue car finally stabilize as it passed the immediate danger zone. The city returned to a semblance of normalcy, though the echoes of the near collision lingered. She breathed steadily, acknowledging the incredible presence of mind and skill displayed by her guards. Even in moments of extreme risk, she had relied on trained professionals, and they had risen to the challenge with exceptional courage. The senior guard allowed a slight relaxation in his posture, though his vigilance remained. The rogue car was now moving away, leaving the royal convoy unharmed. Pedestrians slowly regained their composure, and drivers resumed cautious movement, some still staring at the street where danger had so nearly struck. The sense of relief inside the car was palpable, yet the professionalism of the team ensured that no premature celebration distracted them from the remaining journey. Princess Anne turned her attention briefly to the guards, offering a small but sincere nod of acknowledgement. Her gratitude was unspoken, yet clearly communicated through her composed demeanor and the slight warmth in her eyes. She understood that this was more than protocol or duty. It was a demonstration of courage, quick thinking, and unwavering dedication. In that moment, the presence of the guard had been the difference between danger and safety. Outside the car, city life gradually resumed. Shopkeepers returned to their routines, pedestrians continued along their paths, and the morning traffic slowly normalized. Yet the incident had left an indelible mark. Witnesses spoke in hushed tones, recalling the speed of the car and the precision with which the royal vehicle had avoided disaster. The chaotic energy that had briefly overtaken the streets was replaced by reflection and amazement at the calm, heroic response that had ensured no one was hurt. The senior guard remained alert, his eyes scanning for any further potential threats. He knew that the world rarely stopped for moments like this, and that even after the immediate danger passed, responsibility continued. Each member of the team maintained focus, checking the surroundings, monitoring traffic, and ensuring that Princess Anne remained safe for the remainder of the journey. Their work was quiet and unseen, but it was essential. Princess Anne, reflecting on the moments of danger, remained composed but internally grateful. She had witnessed firsthand how preparation, discipline, and courage could turn a potentially disastrous situation into a story of skill and quick thinking. She understood that safety was never guaranteed by chance. It was earned through careful planning, constant awareness, and the bravery of those willing to act decisively in the moment. As the convoy resumed a steady pace, the princess allowed herself a brief glance at the city outside. The sun had risen higher, illuminating the historic streets with warmth. The chaotic episode had passed, yet it left a lingering awareness of how fragile safety could be and how essential vigilance and skill were in preserving it. She thought of the children she would soon meet at the school, of the life and curiosity waiting beyond the walls of the royal vehicle, and felt a renewed sense of purpose in connecting her role to the lives of ordinary people. The senior guard allowed himself a brief exhale, recognizing the successful execution of a split-second maneuver that required both courage and precision. His training had been tested under the highest pressure, and he had acted with skill and composure. Yet he knew that true professionalism required continued focus, and that every moment remained a potential challenge. In his experience, near misses were reminders to respect the unpredictability of life and the importance of unwavering attention. Princess Anne's composure remained steady as the convoy continued. She silently acknowledged the bravery and quick thinking that had ensured her safety, understanding that heroism often existed quietly, unseen by the public eye. The city moved around them, alive and bustling, as if the near accident had been no more than a brief pause in the rhythm of the morning. Yet inside the royal car, a story of courage, vigilance, and decisive action had unfolded, a story that would soon be remembered and honored for years to come. The streets of London returned to their normal hum, but the significance of the moment lingered. Pedestrians recounted what they had seen, drivers replayed the near miss, and the royal team silently reflected on the delicate balance between routine and danger. In the quiet aftermath, there was recognition that preparation, courage, and quick thinking had prevented a tragedy. Princess Anne, composed and graceful as always, continued her journey, fully aware of the extraordinary skill and dedication of those charged with her safety. In that morning, what could have been a moment of disaster became a story of heroism. The senior guard's instant reaction, guided by training, instinct, and courage, had saved the princess. Every calculation, every subtle signal, and every split-second decision had contributed to an outcome where no one was harmed. It was a testament to the power of preparation, vigilance, and bravery under pressure. The morning had been forever changed for those who had witnessed the near accident. Though the royal car had safely navigated the reckless speeding vehicle, the streets of London remained alive with a buzz of conversation, whispers, and hurried retellings. Pedestrians paused along the sidewalks, still catching their breath, replaying the events in their minds. The honking had subsided, the screeching tires were a memory, but the adrenaline that had filled the city lingered. Life seemed to move forward as if nothing had happened, but for those who had been closest to the danger, the impact of the incident was far from over. Inside the royal car, Princess Anne remained composed, her hands resting lightly on her lap. The calm in her demeanor contrasted sharply with the tension that had dominated the previous moments. Yet her mind was active, reviewing the seconds of the incident and the swift response of her security team. She understood how close danger had been and felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude toward the senior guard and the chauffeur who had acted with precision and courage. Even in moments of extreme risk, her training and composure allowed her to remain collected, a quiet pillar amid the storm. The senior guard exhaled slowly, his focus now shifting from immediate action to vigilance. Though the danger had passed, he remained alert, scanning the streets for any potential secondary risks. He knew that incidents like these often had ripple effects. A vehicle could skid, a distracted pedestrian might step into the road, or another driver might panic. His eyes tracked the surroundings carefully, ensuring that Princess Anne remained safe as the convoy continued its journey. The professionalism of the team ensured that the princess's safety remained the priority, even after the immediate threat had been neutralized. As the royal convoy moved past the scene, police officers began to respond to the speeding car incident. Nearby traffic was being redirected, and officers quickly secured the area. The driver of the rogue vehicle had slowed to a stop several meters ahead, the erratic driving finally halted by the presence of law enforcement. Pedestrians gathered in small clusters, recounting what they had seen, their voices filled with disbelief and awe. Some praised the skill and composure of the royal security team, while others focused on the danger posed by reckless driving in the heart of the city. Media outlets quickly became aware of the incident, reporters rushing to capture details and statements. Cameras recorded the busy streets, while journalists spoke to witnesses who described the chaotic moments of the near collision. Social media began to buzz as bystanders shared videos and messages, recounting how a speeding vehicle had come dangerously close to a royal car, and how the quick actions of the guards had prevented potential disaster. The story spread rapidly, highlighting both the risks faced by public figures and the bravery of those responsible for their protection. In the royal car, Princess Anne remained aware of the growing public attention, but continued to focus on the journey ahead. Her role required her to maintain composure, regardless of the unfolding media storm. She observed the reactions outside, noting the concern, admiration, and surprise of the people on the streets. She understood that such moments reminded the public of the human element in royal life, that even figures of high status are not immune to the unpredictability of daily life, and that safety often relies on vigilance, courage, and skilled response. The senior guard, despite having just managed a high-pressure situation, maintained his professional demeanor. He subtly adjusted his position, ensuring the princess remained protected, while scanning for any unusual activity in the surrounding streets. He understood that public reaction could be unpredictable, and that even after the immediate danger had passed, the environment required careful observation. His presence was calm but authoritative, projecting reassurance not only to Princess Anne, but also to the other members of the convoy and the public who witnessed the incident. Princess Anne finally spoke, her voice quiet but clear, expressing her gratitude to the senior guard and the chauffeur. She acknowledged their skill and composure, highlighting how their quick thinking had transformed a potentially dangerous situation into a demonstration of professional excellence. Her words were deliberate, not for public display, but for genuine appreciation. She understood the weight of responsibility carried by those charged with her safety, and she respected the courage and precision they had shown under pressure. Meanwhile, the city around them was beginning to digest the event. Pedestrians shared stories with friends, commuters discussed the incident on public transportation, and street vendors mentioned it to curious customers. The combination of adrenaline, relief, and awe created a shared experience for those who had witnessed the drama unfold. Children who had been nearby asked questions, their curiosity tinged with concern, while adults reflected on the unpredictability of city life and the importance of quick, decisive action in moments of danger. As the convoy resumed a steady pace, Princess Anne's thoughts returned to her scheduled engagements. Despite the adrenaline of the near accident, she remained committed to her role, understanding the importance of continuity and presence in public life. The morning's events had reminded her of the delicate balance between duty and safety, and how each decision in real time could have lasting consequences. She maintained her composure, her posture upright, a symbol of strength and calm in the aftermath of chaos. Back at the scene, police officers began their investigation, speaking with the driver of the rogue vehicle and collecting witness statements. The car was inspected, and traffic reports documented the sequence of events leading up to the incident. The authorities commended the quick response of the Royal Security Team, noting that their training and professionalism had prevented what could have been a serious accident. The incident became not only a matter of public interest, but also a case study in the importance of vigilance, discipline, and quick decision-making in urban environments. As the day continued, news outlets provided coverage of the incident, emphasizing the heroic actions of the senior guard and the team responsible for Princess Anne's safety. Articles described the precision, calmness, and courage displayed in moments of high risk. Interviews with witnesses painted a vivid picture of the near collision, highlighting the reflexes and professionalism of those tasked with protecting the princess. Social media amplified the story, with messages praising the bravery of the guards and expressing relief that the princess was unharmed. Within the royal household, the incident prompted both reflection and appreciation. Staff members discussed the importance of ongoing training, the unpredictability of public environments, and the exceptional skill demonstrated by the security team. Princess Anne personally conveyed her thanks to the senior guard and other officers involved, acknowledging the personal risk they had managed and the calm, precise manner in which they had handled the situation. Her recognition reinforced the value of professionalism, courage, and trust in moments of crisis. The incident also sparked conversations about urban safety more broadly. City officials reviewed traffic patterns, pedestrian safety measures, and protocols for managing unexpected hazards near high-profile figures. Discussions emphasized the importance of proactive measures, training, and vigilance to protect both public figures and ordinary citizens. In this way, the near accident had broader implications, serving as a reminder that safety is a shared responsibility, dependent on preparation, skill, and awareness. For the public, the story became an example of courage and composure in the face of danger. Witnesses and media coverage highlighted the human element in security work, the split-second decisions, the awareness, and the bravery that often goes unnoticed. The Royal Guard's actions were celebrated not just for their technical skill, but for their demonstration of calm leadership and dedication under pressure. Princess Anne's composure and trust in her team reinforced the idea that safety is maintained through collaboration, training, and mutual respect. Throughout the day, the royal convoy continued its planned route, and Princess Anne carried out her engagements with the same warmth and attentiveness as if the morning's incident had not occurred. Her ability to maintain focus and presence highlighted her resilience and commitment to her role. Yet she never forgot the moments of tension, the awareness of potential danger, and the skillful actions that had safeguarded her. The incident, while brief, had left a lasting impression, shaping her appreciation for the quiet heroism that surrounds public figures every day. As evening approached, the events of the morning were recounted in private discussions within the royal household. The senior guard's decisive action, combined with the calm execution by the chauffeur and support of other team members, was praised for its precision and professionalism. Princess Anne personally thanked each member involved, emphasizing how their courage had prevented harm and maintained the dignity and safety of her public duties. In London, the memory of the incident lingered. Pedestrians who had witnessed it told friends and family, commuters shared accounts on social media, and journalists reflected on the extraordinary actions that had prevented tragedy. The event became a story of courage and skill, reminding everyone that even in moments of chaos, professionalism, training, and instinct could prevail. The near accident also left a sense of reflection and gratitude among the royal household and the public alike. It demonstrated how ordinary moments in the city could suddenly become extraordinary, and how the dedication of individuals to their responsibilities could make the difference between disaster and safety. Princess Anne's calm and composed presence, combined with the bravery of her security team, served as a reminder that courage is often quiet, professional, and unnoticed, yet profoundly impactful. By the time the royal engagements concluded for the day, the streets of London had returned to their usual rhythm. The adrenaline had faded, but the story of heroism and quick thinking continued to resonate. Pedestrians reflected on the extraordinary skill displayed, media coverage praised the professionalism involved, and Princess Anne herself carried the memory of courage, vigilance, and teamwork that had ensured her safety. What could have been a day defined by danger had instead become a story of bravery, composure, and the human capacity to act decisively in moments of crisis. The morning incident had passed, but its effects lingered in the minds of those involved. Princess Anne, having safely completed her engagements, returned to the royal residence with a quiet sense of gratitude and reflection. The events of the day had reminded her of the fragility of safety and the extraordinary skill required to protect it. Even for someone accustomed to public life, the experience had been a vivid lesson in the importance of vigilance, courage, and teamwork. Inside the residence, the senior guard, along with the rest of the security team, quietly reviewed the incident. They discussed the rapid decisions, the precise timing, and the coordination that had made the difference between potential harm and safety. For them, professionalism had guided every movement, and now reflection allowed them to appreciate the impact of their actions. Each member of the team recognized that their training had been tested to its limits, and yet they had performed flawlessly under pressure. Princess Anne, seated in a quiet room of the residence, spoke privately with the senior guard. Her words were calm, but filled with genuine warmth and appreciation. She acknowledged the courage it had taken to react instantaneously, the focus required to guide the car, and the presence of mind that had protected her life. She understood that such heroism often goes unnoticed by the public, but she wanted the guard to know that his actions were recognized and deeply valued. The guard, for his part, remained modest. He explained the sequence of his decisions, describing the instincts that had guided him and the training that had prepared him for the situation. He emphasized that teamwork had been essential. The coordination with the chauffeur, the support from fellow guards, and the awareness of surrounding traffic had all contributed to a successful outcome. Princess Anne listened attentively, expressing gratitude for not only his skill but also his humility. Word of the incident spread quickly within official channels. The royal household formally acknowledged the guard's bravery, preparing commendations and recognition for his swift and courageous actions. Letters of appreciation were drafted, emphasizing the importance of his role and the professionalism displayed in a moment of extreme danger. These recognitions were not mere formality. They were a sincere acknowledgement of the way individual courage and training could safeguard the lives of others. In the days following, the story reached the public through news outlets and social media. The accounts of the near accident highlighted the extraordinary courage of the royal guard, praising his quick reaction and calm precision. People expressed amazement at the way a split-second decision had prevented what could have been a serious incident. Discussions appeared not only about the incident itself, but also about the dedication and bravery of security professionals whose work often goes unnoticed. Princess Anne reflected on the public reaction. She understood the importance of acknowledging the bravery of those who work behind the scenes to ensure safety. While the story had captured public attention, she valued the personal and professional courage of her team more than recognition in the media. For her, the lessons of the incident went beyond the near miss. They were about trust, preparation, and the quiet heroism that protects lives every day. The senior guard received formal recognition from the royal household, including commendations that highlighted his exceptional performance. In addition, there were private meetings with senior officials and discussions about his dedication, skill, and composure under pressure. The acknowledgement was heartfelt, emphasizing that his bravery had not only safeguarded Princess Anne, but had also upheld the values of professionalism, courage, and responsibility that define royal security. Beyond official recognition, the incident inspired reflection within the security team. Officers discussed how each decision, each movement, and each instinct contributed to the safe resolution of a dangerous situation. They reviewed training protocols, shared insights, and considered how similar events might be handled in the future. The discussion was not about pride but about continuous improvement, understanding that the world is unpredictable, and that preparation, focus, and vigilance are essential to protect those under their care. Princess Anne herself reflected deeply on the lessons of the morning. She thought about the unpredictability of life in public spaces, the trust required in those tasked with her safety, and the quiet heroism that often goes unnoticed. For her, the incident was more than a story. It was a reminder of the human effort and skill that make public appearances possible and safe. She felt gratitude not only for the successful outcome, but for the dedication of those who train relentlessly to prevent harm. In the wider public, discussions continued about the incident. Citizens expressed admiration for the guards' actions, often drawing attention to the split-second decisions that can define the outcome of dangerous situations. Social media posts highlighted both Princess Anne's composure and the professionalism of her security team. Journalists emphasized the importance of vigilance in urban environments, showing how preparation, teamwork, and courage can prevent disasters in moments of extreme pressure. For the royal household, the incident became a case study in professional excellence. Officers examined the sequence of events, the coordination between team members, and the instincts that guided their decisions. They reviewed lessons learned, emphasizing the need for continued training, situational awareness, and readiness for unexpected circumstances. The incident was a reminder that even routine journeys could present extraordinary challenges, and that the safety of public figures relies on both preparation and courage in real time. Princess Anne also considered the human element behind the story. She thought about the senior guard's years of training, the countless hours of preparation, and the discipline required to react without hesitation. She reflected on how trust, respect, and professionalism intertwine in moments of danger, ensuring that people's lives remain protected. Her reflection went beyond gratitude. It was an acknowledgement of the dedication that underlies safety, security, and public service. The senior guard, while recognized and praised, continued to maintain his focus on his duties. He understood that heroism is not a one-time event, but a consistent commitment to professionalism and readiness. Each day brought new responsibilities, new potential risks, and new opportunities to act with courage and precision. Recognition, while meaningful, reinforced his dedication rather than diminishing it. He remained attentive, aware that every day in public service demands vigilance and careful judgment. Princess Anne later met with her security team as a group, expressing her thanks personally. She acknowledged the importance of teamwork, discipline, and calm decision-making under pressure. Her words carried warmth and sincerity, emphasizing that courage often operates quietly, without public acknowledgement, yet its impact can be profound. The team felt both pride and humility, understanding that their daily commitment to preparation and service made real differences in the lives of those they protected. Over time, the incident became part of the shared memory of those present. It was retold not as a tale of fear, but as a story of courage, skill, and the power of quick, precise action. The public celebrated the bravery of the royal guard, while Princess Anne and her team reflected privately on the professionalism that had turned a potentially dangerous situation into a demonstration of excellence. The story reinforced values that are often invisible but vital: vigilance, preparedness, and the courage to act decisively in moments of risk. The lessons of the incident extended beyond the immediate circle. Security teams in other parts of the country and the world studied the event as an example of professionalism and courage under pressure. Discussions focused on coordination, communication, and split-second decision-making. The story became a case study in how training, instinct, and calm composure can transform danger into safety. It served as an inspiration for those who dedicate their lives to protecting others, showing that bravery and skill often operate quietly, unseen, but with enormous impact. Princess Anne herself continued her public duties with renewed awareness. The morning's events had reminded her of the importance of trust, vigilance, and appreciation for those who protect and serve. She carried forward the lessons of gratitude, respect, and acknowledgement, ensuring that the quiet heroism of her security team was recognized and valued, even if most of the public would never see the full extent of their work. As months passed, the incident remained a reference point for reflection and recognition. The senior guard received ongoing acknowledgement for his actions, his role celebrated quietly within official channels and publicly through media coverage. Princess Anne continued to highlight the importance of professionalism and courage in her interactions with staff and the public, emphasizing that safety is built on preparation, trust, and unwavering focus in moments of unpredictability. Ultimately, the incident became more than just a near miss. It became a story of human skill, dedication, and courage. It reminded everyone involved that life's unpredictability can be managed with preparation, teamwork, and decisive action. Princess Anne's calm presence, combined with the bravery and professionalism of her security team, demonstrated how extraordinary outcomes are often created through ordinary people performing their duties with skill and commitment. In the end, the story of that morning became a lasting lesson. It celebrated the courage that often goes unseen, the quiet professionalism that protects lives, and the impact of preparation and skill under pressure. Princess Anne, the senior guard, and the entire team understood that heroism is not measured by recognition alone, but by the lives saved, the risks managed, and the dedication displayed in the moments that matter most. The incident became a permanent reminder that courage, vigilance, and teamwork have the power to turn potential danger into safety, leaving a legacy of respect, gratitude, and inspiration for all who witnessed or learned of the events.